So we're going to talk about arguably the biggest missed opportunity that GTA 5's story had, and that's an actual introduction between Lamar and Michael. We're going to discuss at what point in the story they could meet, what their dynamic would be like, in what missions could they possibly be seen together, and overall how the story would pan out if Lamar was more involved with the main trio. So I personally see them meeting sometime after the crew start planning the big one, because Franklin would kind of feel like he's betraying Lamar and leaving him out, so therefore he'd recommend Lamar for the big one as a gunman, at least initially. And let's be honest, if there's any role for Lamar, a gunman would be the best option. After this, of course, he would go on the surveying the score mission with Michael and Franklin, and that would be their actual first introduction, and Franklin would instruct Lamar not to be an idiot, sit back and watch how they do things. However, after this, Lamar would get his first real chance to prove himself, as Franklin would call Lamar to help him rescue Michael, and when they would, that would get Lamar some credit, and Michael would begin to trust him more, despite him and Lester especially not being too keen on him being a member of the crew. Lamar would then, as another test, if that's what you want to call it, have the task to follow the architect and get his hard copy of the plans of the FIB building, and after successfully taking care of that all on his own, Michael and even Lester would be pretty satisfied and impressed. Franklin would be surprised, as he didn't really expect Lamar to be capable of all this, and I guess the motivation for this, from Lamar's point of view at least, was a chance at doing the big one with them, and likely also out of loyalty to Franklin. Also, real quick, if you're enjoying this video right now, please do me a favor, leave a like on it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out my channel memberships as well as my second Kingdom Hearts channel down in the description. And now comes the Bureau. Lamar would finally once and for all prove himself when he'd managed to get through the FIB agents alongside Michael and Franklin, finally cementing himself as an actual member of the main group for the big one. Lamar and Trevor would then together cover Michael and save him in the wrap-up mission, and the unlikely trio without Franklin would then get back in touch with Lester to get to work on the big one once again. However, their planning wouldn't even start yet, as Lamar would be captured and brought out to Paleto Bay, and the main trio would, just like in the original, go in and save him. Finally, they would again work together on the big one, in which Lamar would probably be with Michael and Trevor in those security outfits, and I can see him kind of in this part complaining about that, or maybe saying some funny or stupid shit like he does usually during the whole thing, and he would of course help them out when Merriweather would show up, and after the robbery of the UD would be successful, Lamar would now officially be a member of their friend group, and he would have a bigger involvement in the final mission. Not only would he help out outside of the foundry like he did in the original, but he would, instead of Trevor, be tasked with kidnapping Devin Weston, while the others would go for their targets just like they would in the original. And of course, Lamar would be present in the final scene, and after everything would be said and done, he'd probably still stay in touch with everyone just like Franklin did. Now, as for Lamar's dynamic with everyone, but most importantly Michael and Lester, I imagine that at first Michael and Lester would be kind of skeptical of him, but like I said, as time would go on, I think they would start to trust him a lot more, and it does seem like he would kind of fit well into the group. He would integrate himself, he would be the least serious one, sort of to balance things out, and I imagine we would see some funny hangout conversations, especially when it's all four of them. I feel like we have some moments that would have sent us laughing our asses off, but overall I do think that Lamar would 100% be a worth it, fun, chaotic addition to the crew, and it would be interesting to see how the dynamic would be like if he was more involved with the main trio. What do you guys think? Would it be kind of like how I described it in this video, or would it be something completely different? Leave your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments down below. Until next video stream, bye bye.